¿Eres tú? ¿Estás cuidando tu casa?
I don't know what it is. That's the same thing I see watching me from the inside. Oh, it f***ing moved. It f***ing moved.
Venturing into the woods alone at night can be terrifying, but what happens when you encounter someone or something you'd rather never meet? Like this first encounter, for example, captured by Sean. Meet Frank, the creator behind the YouTube channel Franco TV. He is an urban explorer known for pushing the boundaries, venturing into some of the most dangerous and paranormally active locations across the globe. From haunted monasteries to abandoned towns, Frank seeks out the unknown. But on a solo trip deep into the Argentinian wilderness, he would come face to face with a local legend he was not prepared for, an encounter that would test his courage to its absolute limit. The investigation begins as Frank arrives in a remote area, a place infamous for a horrifying local lore, a demon similar to a Skinwalker that curses the land.
What is up, guys? Thank you for watching Franco TV. So I've made it to one of the most disgusting areas I've ever been to. I'm in an area where it's supposed to be cursed of what is known as a Skinwalker, but here they don't call it a Skinwalker. It's a different demon type of name. But where I'm at now, people sacrifice their dogs, their animals, in order to keep the demons away and to keep the curse away.
He explains that locals perform animal sacrifices to ward off evil, and the proof is scattered all around him. The ground is littered with the decaying remains of these rituals, a gruesome welcome that sets a grim tone for the night ahead.
I'm just going to show you the area right now so that way you guys can see the remains. Oh God, I got to cover my mouth. Look at this. All this is decayed animals all over the floor, and it kind of keeps on going up. But holy shit, is it strong. And there's more body parts inside the bridge.
As the sun sets, he makes his way toward the forest, determined to find a long-lost abandoned mansion hidden within its depths. Venturing deeper into the woods, the atmosphere grows more oppressive. The path is marked by old broken gates and strange metal bars being swallowed by the trees, hinting at a forgotten past. Soon, he switches his camera to night vision, plunging his surroundings into an eerie green glow. It isn't long before he hears distinct movement in the darkness, something he initially dismisses as an animal.
I keep hearing stuff moving the further in the forest I go in. Could be coyotes, it could be animals, I don't know. But I keep hearing something in this direction. What the hell is that?
But then, he captures it. A pair of bright, glowing eyes staring back at him from the pitch-black distance. Cautiously, he tries to get a closer look, but the eyes remain, a silent, watchful presence in the oppressive dark.
I'm gonna get a little bit closer to it. I almost fell. It's up there somewhere. There it is again. I'm gonna dim down my IR. Bring it up just a bit. See it?
As he presses onward, the forest's hostility intensifies. The unsettling sounds evolve from simple movements in the brush to something far more terrifying. What sounds like distant screaming echoes through the trees, adding a chilling, human-like element to his ordeal.
This thing so that way you guys could hear better. I did hear what just sounded like screaming coming from the outside. I just heard a man. What the fuck was that?
Alone and armed with only a knife, Frank's bravery begins to waver. He takes refuge inside a dilapidated structure to escape the unseen horrors. But the bone-chilling sounds only seem to get closer. After being tormented by the noises, he makes his way back toward the edge of the forest. That's when he sees it again, but this time the sight is far more terrifying. A pair of glowing eyes are watching him from an adjacent field, but this is clearly no small animal on the ground.
There's something right there watching me. Oh, shit. I don't know what this is. That's the same thing I seen watching me from the inside.
Frank is frozen in fear as he realizes the figure is tall, standing high like a human being. The terrifying realization that he is being stalked by something large and unknown sends him scrambling back to the safety of his car.
Fuck. The problem with that shit is not small. It's standing high like a human being. Like it's up tall.
Though he initially drives away, Frank decides to camp in his car nearby, determined to see the investigation through. But the night offers no peace. Throughout the early morning hours, he is plagued by the sounds of crunching, footsteps, and even what sounds like people talking, all seeming to emanate from the dark forest he just escaped. Sleep becomes impossible as his mind races, haunted by the image of those glowing eyes. Frank ultimately abandoned the location, the goal of finding the mansion forgotten in the face of pure terror. The most chilling detail emerged later, as he recalled smelling the same putrid scent of decay from the sacrifice site right before his most terrifying encounter, as if the evil itself had followed him from the woods. What was watching him that night? Was it the demon of local legend or something else entirely? The true identity of the tall, glowing-eyed figure remains a mystery, one that Frank was extremely lucky to escape. Spending the night alone in the wilderness is a daunting task, but what if the location is rumored to be haunted by a witch? Tonight, we explore a chilling paranormal investigation where one man braves the darkness to spend the night in an infamous mountain cabin. Meet Jose Flores, the creator behind the YouTube channel Jose Flores Terror. He bravely ventures into the world's most haunted locations, often alone, to document proof of the afterlife. With his camera as his only companion, he seeks to uncover the truth behind chilling legends. But on this particular night, he would find himself face to face with a presence that clearly wanted him gone. The investigation begins with a long trek up a remote mountain. Jose explains his mission: to find and spend the night in a house notoriously known as the Witch's House.
Me dispongo a subir la montaña, ya que voy en búsqueda de una casa que es denominada como la Casa de la Bruja. La historia cuenta que hace años este lugar era habitado por una curandera, una mujer que se dedicaba a realizar de todo tipo de rituales. Muchas personas han escuchado ruidos extraños en este lugar y aseguran que el espíritu de esta mujer.
According to local legend, the cabin was once inhabited by a healer who practiced all kinds of rituals, and many believe her spirit still wanders the property, fiercely guarding her former home.
Una vez más, bienvenidos a una nueva investigación paranormal. Ahorita me encuentro prácticamente en medio de la montaña porque vamos a ir en búsqueda de una casa y voy a pasar la noche en esta casa, la cual dicen que supuestamente le perteneció a una bruja. Se dice que hay demasiada actividad paranormal en este lugar, así que esta noche lo voy a comprobar. Hay varias historias acerca de este lugar, pero la historia que se cuenta es que anteriormente le perteneció a una anciana que se dedicaba a realizar de todo tipo de rituales y que habitaba esta pequeña casa. Hoy en día el lugar está completamente abandonado, no muchas personas saben dónde están, inclusive hay gente que ha intentado buscar la casa, pero no todo.
The path is isolated, adding to the growing sense of unease as he pushes deeper into the wilderness, determined to reach the infamous location before nightfall. Upon arriving, the house immediately gives off a heavy, unnerving energy. It's a small, dilapidated structure, marked with strange painted hands on the windows.
Se siente algo bastante fuerte al entrar a este lugar, o sea, una sensación bastante rara al adentrarse en este lugar, y por eso las personas pues simplemente deciden como que no adentrarse a este lugar y pues la conocen como la casa de la bruja. Aquí en las ventanas, como pueden ver ahí.
As Jose steps inside, He is greeted by a cow's skull placed ominously at the entrance. The interior is filled with unsettling drawings and the lingering belongings of the woman who once lived there, including a pair of old shoes.
Esta casa, miren lo que hay aquí en la entrada. Ese es como un cráneo de alguna vaca. Y pues bueno, la casa no es muy grande como tal, pero como les digo, todavía pues contiene algunas de las pertenencias. Miren, estos de aquí son unos zapatos que pertenecieron a ella. Estos son los dibujos que les decía que están pues un tanto perturbadores, ¿no? Se miran un poco más recientes, eso sí, pero sí hace que el lugar se vuelva como que más terrorífico, ¿no? Pero sí, esta es la habitación principal. Aquí es donde se realizaban todos estos rituales, por así decirlo.
The main room, where she allegedly performed her rituals, feels particularly active. Suddenly, a sharp noise from outside breaks the silence, putting him on high alert. Deciding to set up in the main room, the supposed epicenter of the paranormal activity, Jose unpacks his equipment. He pulls out an EMF meter to gauge the energy levels of the house. The moment he turns it on, the device begins to flash erratically, immediately spiking into the red, indicating an extremely high and unusual concentration of electromagnetic energy.
Obviamente también traigo lo que es el detector de campos electromagnéticos, que también pues ayuda a medir lo que es la energía de este lugar, que ya lo he utilizado en distintas ocasiones y que la verdad es bastante efectivo para medir, por así decirlo, la energía de cualquier lugar. Y miren, ya que lo he encendido en este lugar, lo acabo de encender, miren cómo está la energía de este lugar. Está parpadeando hasta la luz roja, que es bastante complicado que llegue a la luz roja, se supone que es la máxima potencia.
Checking the time, he sees it's already 9:42 p.m. With his cameras rolling, the only thing left to do was wait for the darkness to deepen and for the spirits of the house to make their presence known. As the night wears on, the house begins to awaken. At exactly 11:15 p.m., the paranormal activity starts. First, Jose hears creaks and soft knocks coming from the ceiling above him.
Son las 11:15 de la noche. Hoy. Hay algunos pequeños golpes como crujidos de la madera allá arriba.
Then, in a chilling moment caught on a secondary camera, the bathroom door slowly creaks open on its own. He is certain it had been closed just moments before.
Se los juro que se acaba de abrir la puerta del baño. Se los juro que se acaba de abrir, porque la puerta estaba cerrada completamente. Y de hecho ahí está el celular grabando. Esta toma tiene que haberlo captado de manera bastante clara.
His fear intensifies when, moments later, a chair in the other room is violently knocked over without any explanation. Terrified but determined, Jose tries to communicate with the entity, asking if it's the spirit of the woman guarding her home. The response is a series of unsettling noises from the roof.
¿Eres tú? ¿Estás cuidando tu casa? Hoy, atrás. Se están escuchando muchos ruidos arriba del techo.
Suddenly, a new sound cuts through the night. The distinct and horrifying sound of a woman wailing just outside the cabin. The sorrowful cry sends a shiver down his spine, and he is visibly shaken, his hands trembling.
Se acaba de escuchar otra vez como un lamento. Ay. Ay. Se escucha clarito como un lamento de mujer, como si alguien estuviera llorando allá afuera.
Mustering his courage, he ventures outside to investigate, but finds nothing. He is completely alone in the pitch-black mountain wilderness. Returning inside, the atmosphere has become overwhelmingly intense. It's almost 1 a.m., and the activity is at its peak.
Acabo de revisar la hora y me acabo de dar cuenta de que es casi la 1 de la madrugada.
The final straw comes when Jose hears something heavy being dragged across the floor in the room behind him.
¿Se acaba de arrastrar algo? ¿Acaban de arrastrar algo acá atrás? No sé qué se haya movido, pero se escuchó clarito que arrastraron algo aquí atrás.
Deciding he has captured more than enough evidence and can no longer endure the terrifying ordeal, he quickly packs his gear. After saying a quick prayer to ensure no entity follows him, he makes his harrowing escape from the house and begins the long, dark descent down the mountain. Though he made it out safely, Jose was left with undeniable proof of a powerful presence in the witch's house. Was it truly the spirit of the long-dead woman, still protecting her home from intruders? Or was it something else drawn to the property's dark history? The chilling sounds and physical interactions he captured that night are a terrifying reminder that some places should be left undisturbed. The seeming safety of our own front yard can be shattered in an instant, turning a scene of childhood innocence into one of absolute terror. What you're about to see is a chilling reminder that danger can lurk where we least expect it. The footage opens on what should be a perfectly normal day. A young girl named Christine is seen innocently playing in her front yard, her carefree actions captured by the family's home surveillance camera. She skips to the mailbox, hoping her Halloween costume has arrived, but turns back disappointed. It is in this simple, everyday moment that the scene takes a dark turn, as the camera reveals a silent predator has already entered the frame. Unaware that she is being watched, Christine heads over to the swing set. The coyote, which had been lurking in the background, now sees its opportunity.
I decided to go to the swing, and when I went to the swing, he punched by, and I was like going, and then I was like, oh my God.
It begins to move, its intentions chillingly clear. Suddenly, the animal breaks into a full sprint, charging directly across the lawn toward the unsuspecting child. In a heart-stopping moment, the coyote circles a tree and lunges straight for Christine. The attack is swift and aggressive, with the animal getting so close that it makes physical contact with her before she manages to scramble away.
I feel it ear, and it like almost bited my rib.
So we heard a scream, and she came in with this wild story.
I was like, Mom, I saw a coyote!
Terrified, she runs inside to her parents, screaming about what had just happened. Initially, her parents are met with what they describe as a wild story, likely struggling to believe the events their daughter was describing. Their disbelief quickly turned to horror when they reviewed the security footage. The video confirmed their daughter's terrifying account in vivid detail, showing just how violently the animal had pursued her and how narrow her escape truly was.
He really pursued her violently, and I'm so glad she got away.
The incident has understandably left the family shaken, and Christine is no longer allowed to play in the front yard alone. The neighbors, now on high alert, believe the coyotes live in a nearby wooded area and plan to contact authorities, hoping to prevent a future attack that could end in tragedy. This footage is a terrifying testament to how quickly a peaceful afternoon can descend into a life-or-death struggle. Christine was incredibly fortunate that her quick reflexes allowed her to escape what could have been a devastating encounter. The chilling video serves as a stark warning. The wild can encroach on our lives at any moment, and the illusion of safety can be broken in the blink of an eye. Most investigations begin with curiosity, but some start with a warning. Deep inside these woods, strange activity has been reported for years, and one man decided to find out the truth for himself. What he recorded during that lonely night turned into something far more disturbing than a simple paranormal search. Meet Moxley, the intrepid explorer behind the YouTube channel Moxley's Paranormal World. Through his channel, he bravely camps alone in some of the most haunted locations, seeking to document evidence of the supernatural. From desolate castles to eerie forests, his solo investigations push the boundaries of fear. With his calm demeanor, Moxley guides his audience through these unsettling places. But one night, he would discover that the most unpredictable threat isn't a spirit, but a stranger in the woods. The adventure began in Rivington, a location infamous for sightings of a demonic headless horseman. Moxley arrived, eager to set up his hammock and begin his investigation into the terrifying local legend.
Alright, welcome back to the channel, Explorers. So tonight I'm heading out to Rivington, where there's been reports of a demonic headless horseman spotted for many generations out here. So I just want to try and do it a little bit stealthy here, and then we're going to do an investigation to try and find out some more about this demonic headless horseman.
As he found a spot by the water, he noticed another group of campers across the lake, but thought little of it at the time. He settled in to watch the sunset, preparing for a long night of paranormal research and hoping to capture something truly remarkable. As darkness enveloped the landscape, the atmosphere began to shift. The peace was shattered by 3 loud bangs echoing through the night, which Moxley described as sounding exactly like gunshots. The unnerving sounds put him on immediate alert.
And all of a sudden, all I heard is bang, 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 like 3 gunshots. It's literally what it sounded like, 3 gunshots. So I looked over to where those other lads are camping. You can see the torches moving through the trees. And every now and then, just lay there, I can hear, granted it could be animals, but it's not constant. It's like going through the trees. And then when I sit up and look, nothing. But then there's those 3 gunshots, which has put me on edge a little bit.
Lying in his hammock, he could see the other campers' flashlights moving through the trees and became concerned. He decided it was best to pack up his hammock and move to a more secluded and safer location away from the others. While packing, the situation escalated from unsettling to terrifying. A rock was suddenly thrown at him from the darkness, narrowly missing him. He then saw multiple flashlights cutting through the trees, heading directly his way.
Who's there? Somebody's just flung. I seen it as well. I think, yeah, it was this one. Somebody's just lobbed that. Yeah. See the flashing? Flashing over there. Yeah, they're coming this way. Let's see if I turn that out. Yeah, might be able to see it now. Yeah, there's flashing coming through the woods. Seems to be quite a few of them as well. Right.
Realizing he was being targeted, Moxley knew he had to get out of there immediately. The ghost hunt was over. A struggle for his own safety had just begun. He fled from the open beach, scrambling toward the dark silhouette of the nearby castle ruins. He hoped the ancient walls would provide some cover, but the tight, claustrophobic corridors only amplified his anxiety, making him feel trapped. It was then that he heard what sounded like more gunshots, this time much closer. Knowing he couldn't stay put, he pushed on, deeper into the dark woods, using the dense trees to conceal his escape. The night was no longer about finding ghosts. It was about not being found himself. For hours, Moxley moved cautiously through the pitch-black woods, constantly feeling like he was being pursued. During his trek, he had a bizarre encounter with a massive, pure black dog that appeared and vanished on its own, followed by a herd of deer that acted strangely. His fear was compounded when he was forced to hide, as a group of people with powerful flashlights walked past his position. A loud crunching sound nearby finally confirmed his worst fear. He was actively being followed. Recognizing the grave danger, he abandoned the mission and made his way back to his car. While Moxley escaped physically unharmed, the chilling questions from that night remain. Who were the people who threw the rock and seemingly hunted him through the woods with flashlights? What were their intentions? The Rivington woods hold many secrets, but on this night, the legend of a headless horseman was overshadowed by the very real threat of human malice. It's a terrifying reminder that sometimes the greatest danger in the dark isn't a ghost, but the person standing right behind you. But while Moxley fled from people lurking in the shadows, our next story leads us somewhere far more desolate. A forgotten town where everyone vanished, leaving only whispers of the supernatural behind. This is where Frank's investigation begins. Meet Frank, the paranormal investigator behind the YouTube channel Franco TV. He bravely ventures into locations most people would run from and finds himself drawn back to a place of intense paranormal activity. An entire town, left to decay after residents fled due to rampant ghost sightings and unexplained events. While his previous focus was the infamous monastery at its heart, this time, his goal is to investigate the haunted town itself, a decision that would lead to an unforgettable and horrifying encounter. On his return, Frank was immediately enveloped by the town's oppressive atmosphere. It was a place frozen in time, with an abandoned factory and even a deserted police station standing as silent monuments to a community that vanished.
I am in a completely abandoned town where the monastery is located on. People don't live here because of the ghost sightings and the weird things that they find. This is a factory that used to be here. Things were so bad here at one point that I think they even put a police station out in the front, from what I'm told, to kind of help monitor and secure the area. But nobody lives here. It's just an empty, vacated town.
As he cautiously explored near the police outpost, he found patrol cars sitting empty, as if their occupants had simply disappeared, adding to the growing sense of dread. The entire town was a ghost of its former self, setting the stage for the terrifying events about to unfold. Deciding to circle back to the monastery, Frank noticed something that sent a chill down his spine. A light was on inside the church, even though the entire compound was supposed to be sealed and empty.
So I have made it back to the monastery now. I'm now on the other side of the railroad station in that weird house that does now have electricity. But something completely weird is going on. Now that they have this little IR light, right, that's shining in the middle of the road, look what's now on inside the church. Someone's inside.
He checked the gates and confirmed they were still heavily locked, leaving no logical explanation for who or what was inside. His attempts to get a response by flashing his light were met with an unnerving silence, deepening the mystery of the silent occupant. As he patrolled the perimeter, a sudden noise made him freeze. It sounded as if something had brushed up against the metal fence just feet away from him. Pressing forward, he made a gruesome discovery. Several weathered dolls had been tied to the fence in a ritualistic manner.
What the fuck is that? I don't know if you guys see it, but I just got goosebumps right now. And that's a female. Oh, what the fuck? That is so creepy. Hold on, I'm gonna record this on my phone so you guys can see it. I am gonna be completely honest. I don't know if this was here yesterday and I might have missed it, because this is almost camouflaged in. Look at that. Oh, what the fuck was that? I just heard footsteps right there in front of me.
The sight was deeply unsettling, and his fear intensified when he heard distinct footsteps just ahead of him, confirming he was not alone. The activity only escalated from there, with disembodied screams echoing through the trees, followed by a clear voice crying, "Help," in the distance. Believing it was a lure, Frank wisely retreated to the safety of his car. Determined to find the source of the cries, he began driving down a dark, pothole-ridden road. That's when his camera caught it, a figure standing in the darkness. As he tried to get a better look, the figure began to move in a strange, unnatural way before quickly vanishing behind a bush.
Oh, what the fuck is that? There's something right over there. It's literally right over there. Oh, it fucking moved. It fucking moved. It just went right behind the bush. Right behind the bush.
Frank was left in stunned terror, describing the entity as having pale skin and long hair, wobbling as it moved. He had just captured something inhuman on camera. Frank fled the area immediately, profoundly shaken by the encounter. The footage he captured leaves behind a slew of terrifying questions. What was that creature in the woods? Was it a malevolent spirit, a cryptid, or something else entirely? One thing is certain. It was trying to lure him into the darkness for a sinister purpose. This chilling encounter serves as a stark reminder that when a town is abandoned, it's often for a very good reason. The things left behind are not always ghosts. A solo camping trip is often a quest for peace and solitude, but what happens when the silence of the woods is broken by something deeply unsettling? Tonight, we explore a terrifying ordeal that proves the most dangerous predator in the wilderness often walks on two legs. Meet Bear, the brave adventurer behind the YouTube channel, Exploring with Bear. His videos often feature him roughing it in the wild, testing out new gear, and embracing the challenges of the outdoors. He had previously attempted to make contact with Bigfoot, leaving offerings and performing wood knocks. But based on viewer feedback, he decided this trip would be different. He would simply exist in nature, making no attempt to attract anything. Unfortunately, on this night, something would be attracted to him anyway. The adventure began as a simple, bare-bones camping trip. Bear set up his small tent and a fire, preparing for a cold night where temperatures were expected to drop into the 20s.
Welcome back to another camping adventure, fam. This is part 2 of this series, and I'm Jer Bear. So, this is what we're going to be working with tonight. That's it. Bare bones, baby. Bare bones. It is becoming much cooler now. Now, right now, it's currently about 40 degrees out. You know, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, I think it's going to be like 26, 27 or something like that.
After settling in, he decided to test out some new rechargeable hand warmers, hoping they would keep him comfortable through the night. As darkness fell completely, an uneasy feeling began to creep in. His peace was first broken by the sound of a large branch suddenly crashing down just outside his tent, making his heart jump.
Branch just fall there? Did you guys hear that? It's like right outside the tent. Alright, so I'm thinking maybe, now that we got these fired up, we check out the offering tree, maybe the lake. So, my heart just stopped. There hasn't been nothing all night. Maybe something fell. Whew, that about gave me a heart attack. Alright, so I turned my light low.
Shaken but undeterred, he decided to walk over to a spot he called the offering tree from a previous trip. That's when things escalated. Out of nowhere, another object came flying through the air, landing unnervingly close to him.
That's more better. Something seemed off. What the heck was that? That sucker came flying at. That just fall from up there? That's what I was telling you guys about the widowmakers when you're pitching your tent. Did you guys hear that? That was a big frickin' bang by camp.
A short while later, a loud bang echoed from the direction of his camp, making it clear he was not alone. The woods, once peaceful, now felt alive and menacing. He retreated to the relative safety of his tent, the warmth of his hand warmers doing little to calm his frayed nerves.
Back in the tent, and the hand warmers are... So they've probably been running, about a half hour though. Yeah, probably about a half hour. And it seems like the only thing that's really getting warm is right here. I almost fell asleep actually. I was watching a video and caught myself falling asleep. So I did end up breaking out the old camping blanket because it is much colder out. So I did end up putting one of the hand warmers in my pocket, and I have one tucked.
He tried to get some sleep, but was jolted awake by a massive crash just outside. What followed was a waking nightmare. He could hear something walking right up to his tent, its presence terrifyingly close. Then, it started throwing things at the tent, and to his absolute horror, he could hear it breathing just on the other side of the thin nylon wall.
There's more than one. More than one. Crap, wrong way. Something is standing right outside of the tent. It's throwing stuff at the tent. I'm armed. No. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna have a freaking heart attack. Man, whatever that is, I don't know what.
Paralyzed by fear, he grabbed a weapon, convinced that people were messing with him. After what felt like an eternity, the sound stopped. Seizing his chance, Bear decided his life was in danger and made the frantic decision to abandon his camp.
So it's been about 5 minutes and I haven't heard anything. But my heart's still about to beat out of my chest, and I'm gonna take this opportunity and leave right now before whatever that was. Sounded like there was 2 of them. There's people, creatures, whatever that was. I am leaving before they come back.
He fled into the night, leaving his tent and all his gear behind, not wanting to risk another encounter with whatever was stalking him in the darkness. 7 days later, having mustered the courage, Bear returned to the campsite in broad daylight to retrieve his abandoned gear. What he found was far more horrifying than he could have ever imagined.
Oh, no frickin' way. Man, wait till you guys see this. Man, I am so glad we left. Someone destroyed the frickin' tent. I wonder if they thought I was laying in there when they threw that block on it. Man, that would have messed me up. Man, it looks like somebody was trying to hurt me.
His tent was completely destroyed, crushed under the weight of a massive cinder block that had been thrown on top of it. Upon closer inspection, he saw the tent had been sliced open with a blade. The horrifying reality sank in. This wasn't an animal or a cryptid. This was the work of a person, a psychopath who had likely tried to crush him in his sleep.
Look at all the rips in it. It's like it was cut. Yeah, look. Where's the door at? Anything in there? The door? This was the door. Somebody sliced it up. Oh, I wonder if they just sliced right through the door to look in at me. So I'm not thinking Bigfoot no more. That was a psychopath. That was for sure a psychopath.
As he processed the chilling scene, he heard footsteps nearby and immediately fled, realizing the insane individual could still be in the area. This terrifying encounter serves as a stark reminder that the wilderness holds dangers beyond wildlife and the supernatural. Sometimes the greatest threat is humans. Bear was incredibly lucky to have trusted his instincts and escaped when he did. The chilling evidence he found upon his return confirms that if he had stayed, his camping adventure would have almost certainly been his last. Now that was all for today, folks. If you enjoyed these clips, subscribe to my channel and click to see more on the video on screen.